Alrighty. All right, guys, welcome to day 2 call to, and we are going to talk about specifically the virtual consult funnel and SKOOL funnel. And again, for the people that maybe didn't catch the first part of this is part of, sorry, people are trickling in, part of the authority funnel concept. And again, there's 3 types of funnels: profile, virtual consult, and SKOOL funnel. I want everyone to start off with a profile funnel, and then depending on your use case, go up to virtual consult or SKOOL, right? Because they stack on top of each other, right? So let's dive into it. You guys see my presentation? Yeah, thumbs up. I ask just because I'm notorious for just like sharing my screen, or I think I share my screen and then like nothing's happening on the receiving end. They're like, "Are you sharing something?" I'm like, "Oh, damn. I just went through like 5 minutes." So that's why I ask. But building a virtual consult funnel and SKOOL funnel, right? Steps, or the agenda today is like, we're talking about just the introduction, the steps to build out both. And then we'll most likely end with Q&A, just because there's a lot of meat here. And I've given you the steps with the anticipation of just conversationally talking about it, because I think that'll help as well, right? So what is a virtual consult? It's a funnel designed to convert leads into high-ticket clients through virtual consultations. And I'll give you both positionings that I found that kind of sells it. For us, typically, if you're coming from direct response agency stuff, you might be doing like a 2-call close. So discovery call, demo call. This is what I found out. For me, it has taken the place of a discovery call. And we'll dive more into kind of what questions and what qualifies and, you know, what you should put in there, and even show you kind of what I do. But all this stuff of like, you know, getting your foundation, asking like what have they done before in the past, with the strategy of like getting them to say it. So not only are they telling us, they're telling themselves. So again, that's like starting the sales cycle. Before we used to do that manually, like, or in-person discovery calls. What I found for me, coupled with the authority funnel, coupled with authority funnel content, this has eliminated that. And again, I'm getting more 1-call closes and closes in the DMs. Does that make sense, what I just described? All right. And the purpose of this is to use content to drive prospects to a landing page that houses a virtual consult and qualifying them before they book a call. And again, I'll give you some examples, right? Side note, I have never tested out running ads directly to a virtual consult on Video Ask. So the landing page would be this interactive thing. I'll leave that up to you guys to A/B test. I just housed it in a landing page, which I'll show you here shortly. Make sense? So if one of you wants to test it out with your paid ads, I would encourage it, right? Because as good marketers, we should always test, right? So why is a virtual consult important? One, it attracts high quality leads, simply for the fact that quality just means that they understand your value, right? That's my definition, at least. Or actually, sorry, let me back up here. I promise you I'll give you 2 positionings. The first for us is eliminating discovery calls. On the client side, and I'm going to speak more so on medical aesthetics, because that's my chosen niche. Through my data, and this is like working with hundreds of clients now, through my first agency Client Swipe and then now Aesthetic Bosses, the common thread of like, garbage leads or no-shows was very evident, especially back in the, 2020 days of direct response, which was just like stock image overlay text. Maybe it's like, a discounted offer to booking page, which some people still use, right? But we would get a lot of no-shows and stuff like that, which I'm sure you guys have, one sec, there's people in the waiting room, experienced. But the position that I took on the client's end is, hey, in 5 minutes, see if Botox or see if cryoscan, or see if roofing, you can even throw that in there. See if it's right for you in 5 minutes by taking this virtual consult. You don't even have to come in, right? So that took the place of their consult, essentially, so we can start to build that trust that way. Do those two positionings make sense? Okay. And if not, let me know, because it causes me to be better on how to describe it. So that's why I ask. So why is it even important, right? One, it attracts high quality leads. It filters out the non-serious prospects simply for the fact that, one, it is newer, right? Not many people are doing it. The best way I can kind of describe this to people that kind of don't get it 100% is there's a Netflix series called Black Mirror. There's a specific one where you can like choose the story, and based on the story that you choose or option that you choose, it changes the thing or the story outline. That's exactly what this is, right? And even that alone has closed even for myself, like high ticket clients, because they're like, I don't even care what you offer. I just want this. I'm like, cool, man. Yeah, there's other stuff, but glad you liked it, right? So it attracts high quality clients because, it increases your authority, right? Is what I'm trying to say. One sec, there's people hopping in here. It increases conversions because it's that wow factor as well, right? And I will show you, my own kind of decision tree where when I ask their budget and they say like 0 to 3K a month, I disqualify them, right? And I say, hey, thanks, based off what you chose, I don't think we're a good fit, but check out my Instagram for like free info and stuff like that. What I've noticed is because they've been burned before in the past, they choose the cheapest option, but coupled with authority funnel content and virtual consult, they like take it again and speak their truth. So it miraculously, it went from, I can only afford 0 to 3K to, I could afford 10K or 5 to 10K, right? I was like, I thought you could only afford 0 to 3K. What's going on here? Money just miraculously appeared here. And it's efficient sales process, right? Again, this program is all about getting back your time, and we use that through strategic content and leveraging these tools so we don't have to necessarily get on every call. So we can sell through content, so we can sell in the DMs. Make sense? Cool beans. So the components of a virtual consult funnel, right? Short form content to create, and we create engaging videos to drive traffic. If you guys have made the first call, this is why we begin with the profile funnel, because it is very much clings onto the fact that you are already creating short form pieces of content or authority funnel content in general via the profile funnel, right? So this is mandatory for all funnels that we talk about in authority funnel, but these short form pieces of content, and I will give you actual examples here of my own, is what drives it, right? A landing page, a dedicated page for the virtual consult. Again, I told you guys that this is what I tested out. For you, you can test out going directly to your virtual consult. I have seen that before with other colleagues, right, that are kind of adopting the style, but I just chose to do a landing page. It's definitely up for you for testing, right? Sign up and configure video ask. This is the tool that we use for the virtual consult. The reason why I say virtual consult is because this is how I've branded it. And this is how, when it comes to my chosen niche of like med spas, medical aesthetics and all that stuff, they're already doing consults. So it's an easier progression of, I understand what this is, right? If we're truly trying to be like, I'm always like thinking about like how we increase conversions, and I forgot who was saying this too, but I take very much like the Russell Brunson approach of decreasing cognitive dissonance as much as possible. So the same reason as to why we don't drive traffic to a website, because if we give them too many.
930.
Hey, but I'm going to mute you, man, unless you have a question.
83. Got 60 left.
All right. Just on me if you have a question, man. The same reason why we don't drive traffic to a website, because we give them too much choices, which is cognitive dissonance. I lost my spot when that happened. Sorry, guys. We drive it to a landing page just because we want them to take one action. That's why, right? Qualification questions, we use ChatGPT, which I will show you how to do and give you the example prompts after this call, and then the pre-sale video. So you can see, especially for the people that have come from call 1 today, a lot of the profile funnel is in here, and it's just one step above, right? This is why I want you guys to start off with the profile funnel, right? So the steps to build your virtual consult. Step 1 is to complete your profile funnel, right? So to reiterate, 9 pieces of short form pieces of content, 1 piece of Twitter post image content, 1 middle of funnel long form piece of video creative on YouTube, 1 VSL, right? All those still stay the same. The additional steps to building out your virtual consult is to create qualification questions, right? We're going to use ChatGPT to prompt and generate effective questions, but it is dependent on your niche, right? And I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to go to Video Ask right here. Can you guys see my Video Ask? Yes or no? Change the screen? Okay, cool. I'll give you an example of a client who's he's a plastic surgeon, and then compared to my own, right, which I use components of NEPQ, which I do for him as well, but I'll show you kind of what I mean, right? So what I do here is I always start off with a clever way of getting people's information, right, or a lead. So name, email, and phone number, right? And because I've positioned it where, especially with my clients, hey, within 5 minutes, just see if rhinoplasty is right for you, right? Or see if Botox is right for you. In the positioning statement, I say, hey, I'm, Dr. Tyler, but before we start, you know my name, but what is yours? Because we're doing an ascension of status play in the profile funnel and the authority funnel, it's a clever way to, lack of a better term, ask them for their information without being too salesy, right? So an example would be,
hey, Dr. Tyler Oakland here. Thanks so much for viewing this page. If you're ready to see if rhinoplasty is the right fit for you, just click the button below and let's get started.
And then you can, And then you can, let me get out of here, sorry guys. And then you can create a form to get their information, which is, where is that at? Right here, right? Does that make sense on how I position that? And I wanted to share this because I use it the same, and I tell my clients to use the same, right? Additionally, and I'm going to just touch up on the types of questions, and I'm going to show you how you can configure yours. The style that I like to kind of do for myself and clients is to ask a question and then do a pattern interrupt question, right? Meaning if we can get them to say their problems, not only are they telling us, but they're telling themselves. So in this example, we ask,
what's motivating you to even consider rhinoplasty?
What's your motivation? Which is a typical discovery call question. So for the people that have done it for your own agency services or consulting services, a simple question that we all tend to use is hey, what motivated you to book a call, or what motivated you to increase or engage with our ad? You know what I mean? So it's the same principles there, but we always ask a follow-up question that kind of speaks to them on a psychographic level. So in this case, the cool thing about Video Ask is they can literally respond via video, audio, and text, which is awesome, because on the receiving end, if you do any responses or even blasts on Video Ask alone. It's almost like SKOOL, where they get a notification and the delivery rates are higher than if you were to do it via like GHL or something like that. But in this instance, the positioning is, hey, how does the shape of your nose affect your daily lifestyle? So,
got it. Thanks for answering. Next question. How is the shape of your nose affecting your daily life and self-esteem?
Right. So now it's an emotional play. And if you caught kind of how he began the video, he acknowledged the previous question and then went on to the next. Does that make sense? So the more that we can kind of disguise it as a normal conversation, especially with things like AI and stuff. This is not necessarily AI. This is just a decision tree. But if we can kind of mask it in a typical, how people talk and how people interact, the better, right? So I wanted to give you that kind of positioning for, what I do for clients and stuff like that. Here's my own, right? So I follow the same principles, where this one's a little bit long-winded, but I'm focusing more so on experiencing the virtual consult for themselves. That make sense? So I say,
hey guys, welcome to your virtual consult made specifically for medical aesthetic clinic owners and business consultants. You're about to experience how we qualify our high-ticket clients and how we pre-frame them to get them more emotionally invested.
So the same thing that I kind of saying it to you guys, I say exactly to my medical aesthetic clients, and even the same positioning that I take for them, right? Hey, just experience this for yourself without a sales call. Does that positioning make sense? Right? How you can light this on fire is if you guys go to the Scale Back Your Time classroom, right? And go to the master class and then go to the, where is it at? Go to Mastering Consultative Selling. The qualification questions that I come up with is a 100% has to deal with NEPQ, the thing that Jeremy Miner pushes, right? I just have distilled that in this virtual consult, right? So if you see here, he goes into situational questions. What are you doing now to do bookings, right? Do you like that? What do you mean by that, right? So those open-ended questions, how to really refine those and what I recommend is to watch this Mastering Consultative Selling, and in future, on the last day, we're gonna go more in depth with that, like one-on-one, but this is the main framework that I used to develop specific types of virtual consult questions to get them, one, more emotionally invested even before they get on the call with me, which ultimately increases my authority, right, and leads to more one-call closes. I'm going to stop here because I noticed that there's comments here. Let me just make sure. Is there a free version of Video Ask enough? That's up to you, right? I like the paid version because you can essentially have your own branding. The free version just says Video Ask, right? So it just looks better in terms of just positioning and authority, in my opinion. So if I'm going to spend all this time with authority funnel content, I want it to say aesthetic bosses, right? Or Scale Back Your Time. Does that make sense? Cool beans. Cool. Does you say? Does someone have a question?
Yes, sir.
Oh, cool. Awesome. So, going back to the process. So create qualification questions, right? I'm going to give you guys the links after this call when I do this recording for you guys to experience my own. So you guys can just go through it, funnel hack me, right? Get your own questions. But I really want this to be based on your story, all the things that we did in Module 1, based off your consulting blueprint. It should relate to everything. This is why we focused on the mindset and your process first, because it all correlates with one another. Make sense, guys? Cool beans. The next is to film the virtual consult videos. Pretty short and sweet, right? If you have the scripts, it should be pretty self-explanatory. The things that I will say is if you are doing more of an affluent client with discretionary income, there's a reason why, I'm going to pull mine up. There's a reason why I use like a professional camera.
So they're more likely to spend a high ticket.
And even the composition is strategic where, you know, I'm very strategic on the composition of the background because it's basically saying I have a private office, which I do, right? And also it like kind of screams authority. So that's really dependent on your niche. If they don't care about that, then technically you can get away with, you know, running and gunning and stuff like that. But even if you just did it on an iPhone, I would just make sure lighting is correct, the composition is, clean, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be a professional camera. And the biggest tip that I have is what will save like crappy quality video is great audio, which is why I use like a Rode mic, if you see it right here. Any questions on that? Cool. I'm going to fast track it a little bit because I do want the second half to talk about SKOOL funnels. Configure video ask is the next step. And going back to the framework, right? So my strategy is pretty linear in terms of my discovery call questions. And it's, again, I would reference the consultative selling, but it's at its core, it is fact-finding questions. So, you know, what have you tried before in the past, right? To open-ended like, oh, what do you mean by that? Or can you explain further on that? Right? Literally, that way they can give an open-ended question and I could respond via conversational manner using the Video Ask app via text, audio, or video, which is great, which also sells the service itself. And imagine this, if your time is sucked with getting on one-on-one discovery calls, imagine if you could just have this discovery call, quote unquote, at your own time, which this is. Right? So the elements of a traditional discovery call holds true. And if we need to get it more into like that strategy, then we will on Thursday, which is the last day of the call workshop. Right? So how are you currently getting booked appointments right now?
What are you currently doing now to get bookings?
Right? Very straightforward.
Got it. And how long have you been doing that?
If you notice that, the reason why I'm going through this again is if you notice even in the beginning, I'm like, oh, got it. How long have you been doing that? Again, trying my best to emulate normal conversation. I'm going to skip through this because it is the same framework throughout, but here's where we differ, right? And kind of break through the mold. I say it like this.
Factoring in all your overhead, what if I told you in 3 months we'll have the exact plan to reach 7 figures in your business or push through your current revenue plateau, but it took hiring editors and paid ads to get there? What is the max you'd be willing to invest in your business per month?
So how I have it set up here is if they say 0 to 3K, I already know that I can't most likely help them to my best degree with this type of framework. And also they're probably not even ready to run paid ads. Let's just be honest, right? So it automatically disqualifies them by means of a not good fit video. This is why it is very important to map out the decision tree, meaning like what are all the variables, what are all possible scenarios based off like a normal conversation, whether they say yes or no, they're qualified, unqualified.
Hey, thanks so much for your responses. At this time, it doesn't look like we'd be a good fit, but don't fret. we have a lot of free resources available to you. So for instance, I'm inviting.
Right. So I disqualify them and I say, hey, maybe we're not the good fit, but we have a free group. What I will say though is what I found is they go back through the entire process, and I almost want them to go back through the entire process just so they're even more so indoctrinated and they speak their truth, is what I found, right? So if they are qualified, I ask them.
Thanks for your responses. Based on what you told me, it looks like you might be a good fit, but I'd like to meet with you personally just to 100% figure out whether or not I could help. Would you be open to setting up a quick time to chat?
So this is even strategic here because I'm following kind of that NEPQ framework of not only are they telling, me, but they're telling themselves that they're ready. So I want them to internally say to themselves, yes, I want to have a quick chat. And the reason why I say that is some of you looking at this could say like, why don't you just put the scheduling link right here, right? The reason why I don't is because I want them to internally say it to themselves. So that way they're more likely to show up on the call. This is how I found to like increase shows and stuff like that. Does that make sense, guys? As to why? All right. So this for Jack, right? You asked about like Calendly and stuff like that, or GHL. The reason why I'm doing Calendly is because it's very seamless in terms of booking an appointment using Video Ask, and also for that wow factor.
Great. I'm excited to chat with you. Just choose a time here so it's on both of our calendars. Chat with you soon.
Right. So it's like I'm saying like, hey, we're a good fit. I'm excited. Just click the link on this on the screen. Right? So that's that wow factor there. And then the last thing I'll show you here is technically if they say no, but in the future, I have basically a video just speaking to that.
No worries at all. At the very least, I'd like to invite you to our free group where we give weekly tips on how you can scale your business using a.
And if you guys noticed, if they're disqualified and if they say no, I funnel them to what? A community, So now I'm not wasting money, right? Because here's the deal. If the framework that I like to follow too is like, if we're spending money on these leads and then like, we do our hardest to like get them on the call, but then if they say no, we like kind of let them go into the ether. You know what I mean? We're very notorious on doing that. We're quite frankly wasting money, right? This is, if you come up with strategies to like kind of nurture them, get them back. And even for your own clients, that's a secret on my success on how I built, multiple 7-figure clinics is that strategy alone. This is how we also win, right? I'm going to pause here. Any questions on kind of what I went over? And I asked because we're going to move on to school funnels, right? But I wanted to ask any questions on that.
I saw that you drive people to a free Facebook group. Is that something you still do, or now it's been replaced by SKOOL?
It's been replaced by SKOOL, so that's what I'm using. But technically, it could be a Facebook group. I'm not a big fan of like just focusing on like the tool, like I said in the first call. So if you follow the framework, it doesn't matter what you choose as long as you're like building value and using the community to set appointments and stuff like that, right? Make sense? Cool. Before we move on to SKOOL, I'm going to show you the exact kind of the exact way that I used it, and then we'll move on. And then if we do need to like spend more time on the SKOOL funnel, we will. But I feel like this will just hit the nail in the coffin in terms of you guys understanding it, right? So let me pull it up, and then I'll share my screen. Can you guys see my Instagram or nah? Yeah, cool. Alrighty. Where is it at? So I'm going to play this video and then I'm going to share with you guys the entire experience, start to finish, right? So
owner or business consultant. What if I told you my team and I will develop a 180-day content strategy designed specifically to build your authority, attract affluent clients with discretionary income, and help you sell your medical aesthetic services online before they even come in, and we'll actually come in to film, edit, and launch your paid ads for free. And after 90 days of launching your paid campaigns, you'll either have the strategy to hit 7 figures in your clinic or have the exact strategy to push past your current monthly sales. Would you say no to that offer? These people didn't. Like Abla, who was a new med spa owner, and in 6 months we were able to generate the plan to hit $150K a month in sales in her clinic, and she's on track to hit 7 figures this year. Or Tyler, who was a new plastic surgeon, no Google reviews, no testimonials, and in less than a year, he was able to use authority funnels and what I'm calling a virtual consult to book $20,000 a week in rhinoplasty consults using this exact system. So if this is something that you're even remotely interested in, I'm not even going to ask you to book a call. Just click the link below and you'll be taken to a no-cost training where I go over what an authority funnel is and how you can use virtual consults to attract affluent clients with discretionary income and close high-ticket medical aesthetic services even before they come into the clinic. And after you watch that video, if you want to learn more, to save you time, we're not even going to get on a call. You can experience the virtual consult for yourself are you a medical aesthetic practice owner or...
So I'm going to talk about these elements just because it might throw people off that I'm being like pretty direct response here. But here's the deal. This video only shows in remarketing, right? So it is after the profile, it's after the profile funnel, right? So they're indoctrinated on kind of who I am first. And then it's just a natural progression of, hey, this is what I do. Does that make sense? Yeah. And there's elements here that you know, on the outside, it's like, what are you doing? These are some crazy offers, right? 180-day content strategy or 90-day content strategy. I forgot what I said. That doesn't mean 180 pieces of content. That just means 180 days, right? So like my contracts are 6 months. It's not month to month. So I'm giving you the plan. Make sense? There's a difference there. Running your ads for free, because I focus more on brand building and authority funnel ascension, I'm devaluing paid ads. Right? So now I'm putting more emphasis on authority funnel content, attracting affluent clients with discretionary income, work alongside you. I guess I'll do paid ads for free. Does that make sense? Right? Simple positioning, but the more I could devalue the BS tasks that we all hate, right? It gets me out of there. Gets me out of there. It makes sense? I love to see you guys writing. My man Corey there with a note taken. Nice. And also, I also kind of I build familiarity, right? So I'm saying like these people. I position it as, hey, I'm giving this so you can experience this. We don't even have to get on a call. Who says that? Mainly, it's bombarding them with like, book a call, book a call, book a call, book a call. I'm doing the anti stuff, which is why I'm a whole believer in the authority funnel system, because you are the offer. It's not the things that you do. Thanks, Yari. Yeah, thank you. I'm trying my best here to preach the good word here. Cool. So going back to it, because I know we have 20 minutes left and I want to get the SKOOL funnels. So profile funnel to middle of funnel piece of content. And I guess how it differs too is technically this is short form, right? I will say it is longer than a minute, so it cut off, but still, it did convert, right? Going to a landing page that houses my virtual consult. Again, just to reiterate, and I'll give more context and write-ups when I actually upload this as the recordings, but you guys already have these templates in the GHL snapshot. I just wasn't very straightforward. I'm like, you guys have this, but you do, right? So you can take this and take the framework. So if you noticed in the ad, right, middle funnel ad, I say no cost training, right? So no cost training. This is just a virtual consult. So you should already have this by doing the profile funnel. This is why I say start off with a profile funnel, because going to a virtual consult is just baby steps. You already have the things in place, right? So I'm just housing my no cost training, and the headline speaks to what they want on a psychographic level. You'll have to find out what that is, right? So I know that they want to close high ticket aesthetic services, right? Because that's ultimately, they want to attract affluent clients with discretionary income for their high ticket medical aesthetic services. That's what I found out in my own marketing research. And the positioning of the contents of, the virtual funnel or virtual consult, the VSL or virtual sales letter video is, I'm not even gonna ask for a call. Experience this for yourself. No call required, right? And the reason why I use, a landing page is because I could house my testimonials, but they click on this, initiates the virtual consult. And then now they go through the process of what we just described here on today's call. Does that make sense, guys? I'm going to stop just for any questions at all before we move on quickly to SKOOL funnels, because it just adds on top of the virtual consult as well.
In terms of, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jack.
I was going to say the disqualifier. So if they are not qualified or say no, push them to the free community. At what point do you, I guess, try to re-engage them or resell them into a call, or you just kind of let them maybe improve their situation at a later point, and then they come back to you?
You remember how I said that, once someone has gone through the authority funnel, and some use cases where they say 0 to 3K disqualifies them and they go back and speak their truth?
Yeah.
The cool thing about you prioritizing content is they're just cycled back into the authority funnel through your remarketing, through your IG profile and all that stuff. So how you essentially not waste the money on these type of individuals is to create content. So it circles back to that. So just know this, if they are not qualified, the thing that I like to focus on is I didn't do my job well enough to communicate my own value, because I know I'm worth it. I know I'm worth it 100%. And I know I could help you. I just haven't done a good job of communicating my story and my value yet to you. And I will take that on the chin myself and focus on creating content for you to understand it. So the next time you see an ad or whatever, you say, actually, I can afford $5,000 to $10,000. Make sense, Jack?
For sure. So what about, we've been attracting, and I think it comes down to our messaging, but let's say a solopreneur applies for a call or books a call with me, and I'm already disqualifying them because I know they don't have enough discretionary income to afford it, right? So I basically just been turning them away. We're trying to brainstorm other ways to monetize them. Like we're brainstorming potential affiliate agreements of sending them to someone else who does work with that group of people. Like, have you done anything like that? Like, let's say like a med spa solopreneur approached you when you were doing that.
I'm not going to say it's a bad idea, but I tend to focus on things that get back my time. So I focus very much on getting whale clients and the right type of clients, and immediately disqualifying them if they don't reach the mold. So even to the point where it's like, are you doing, hey, established med spa owners who are already doing $30K a month or something? Does that make sense?
So making that pretty clear.
Yeah.
Whatever videos they see, whatever pages, it's like pretty crystal clear.
100%.
Yeah, you have to have
100%.
this much in monthly revenue or whatever your qualification is.
Right, 100%. And I'm not saying that is a bad thing, and I do think there's a viable business model with that. It's just when I was building this out for myself, like I didn't want to take on too much because that's like a different thing entirely. So it's not a bad idea. I just didn't want to do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, man. Anything else like that?
No, I think Francisco had something too.
Oh, that's right. Francisco?
Oh yeah. So if you don't have like crazy social proof, you just skip that entirely.
In terms of like what I mentioned like in that video of like, here's how these people did.
Yeah, exactly that. Or on the landing page, you have a bunch of messages.
Yeah.
Social proof. Just
because it's very good that I got on like a lot of one-on-ones with you guys so I could like relate it back to your story, which I think it will help out the group and stuff. I would do a build familiarity play and say, I'm just like you. So I know for a fact that you've built, so for the people that don't know, Francisco's in gyms, he's built out a gym. So a transition from here's how these people did it to here's how I did it. Here's how you can do it too. So there's a reason why I asked one of my high ticket clients, I was like, hey, make me CMO so I can understand on a psychographic level and on a deeper level how to own a med spa. And now I can say on my authority funnel content, I am a CMO of a clinic. I am just like you. So you have that story, and I know, not to go deep into your story, but I know it's a big one, man. It truthfully is what you did for that gym, so yeah. Anything else like that, guys? Anyone else? Cool. I guess it kind of works out because I've been talking about the SKOOL funnel this whole time, but I'll quickly touch up on it. Let me share my screen. So the SKOOL funnel is a community-based funnel, right, that we use to nurture leads. And essentially, I've done it in two ways: free group or free group to low ticket, paid group to high ticket consulting, right? The free group to high ticket consulting is what I did for aesthetic bosses. The purpose is to build a community, but it is also to house a lead magnet in the form of a community to set appointments. It's basically communicating the values you bring in a conversational way you can set appointments, right? So why is it important? One, the community engagement for a sense of like belonging and providing continuous value if you do choose to do the free to low ticket to paid group, right? We use it to nurture individuals in a way where it's a non-salesy approach, right? So how I did it for aesthetic bosses and the steps to do it is one, to sign up for SKOOL, right? You get a 14-day free trial when you sign up. But how I did it for aesthetic bosses was, hey, we only serve the top 1% of aesthetic clinic owners who want increased profits without worrying about marketing and sales by becoming an authority online. And the thing in my ad that I was promoting is a lead magnet, right? A lead magnet that said, here's how I grew my clinic from zero to, at the time, 100K a month. Now it's like 200K a month, right? So the process is this: still the same profile funnel, right? Or authority funnel, running ads to authority funnel content, driving it to this page. So you remember how I said in the profile funnel to think about your Instagram page as your landing page? Now we're thinking about SKOOL as our landing page, and these are our VSLs. So you would put your VSL that you already created in SKOOL. Does that make sense? Right? When they and just to follow up, use ChatGPT to create like an optimized version of the About page, which for those of you who already know, I'm not going to spend too much time on it just because we have 10 minutes left, but I very much use like value stacking. Any quick questions on the structure of the About page before I move on? Got it. So once they enter into the group, we do use what's called membership questions, right? To one, get their information so we can start to appointment set, right? So in this instance is, hey, in order to qualify to be in this community, we do have to meet first. Are you open to that? Multiple choice, yes or no. Again, this is part of NEPQ where we say, not only are they telling us, but they're telling themselves. So if they say yes, they are telling themselves yes, right? Starting the sales process. Enter in your phone number and enter in your email, right? We direct them to the free masterclass, which is your lead magnet for the free group. And then the same principles apply as we've seen in the profile funnel, which the follow-up is like, hey, what'd you think about that masterclass? And then just appointment setting that way, right? This is exactly how I close, $8,000 to $10,000 clients for using SKOOL. Now, I will say by doing all three, my preferred funnel is the virtual consult, right? But I wanted to test out everything before I teach it to you guys, right? Because my use case is not necessarily yours. So the reason why I share this is because profile funnel has worked for coaching and consulting clients and, local businesses. Virtual consult funnel has worked for coaches and consultants and local businesses. SKOOL funnel has worked for both as well, right? With anything I do, I like to test it out first before I even teach it. Make sense? And then the free group, the low ticket pay group, you probably have seen this, like that dude Max pushes it. This is how, honestly, where I got it from, but it's free group to lead magnet. The lead magnet that you promote out is your module 1, right? So this is why I say start off with developing your consulting blueprint, because module 1 is just the lead magnet in its entirety. And to get the full course, right? To get the full course, you drive traffic to your low ticket paid group for them to go become a paid member, right? Any questions on that portion of it? And I'm fast tracking it because technically it's been in the group for a little while. A lot of you have experienced it, and I felt that virtual consult held more weight, right, in terms of me teaching this on today's call. Any questions on the SKOOL funnel?
So your lead magnet is the VSL plus module 1.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's both.
Yep. The lead magnet is module 1. I will say, for the sake of telling people what to do. So this is what I found out with SKOOL, right? If we don't explicitly tell them what to do, they won't ever take the action, right? So when they do enter into the group, they get an automated DM. They get an automated DM of a Loom video describing what I want them to do, right? So I'm just going to recreate this video, but it's like automatically they get, hey, I filmed this video to show you how to get a personalized 7-day action plan. And precursor, the 7-day action plan is just saying, it's more so of me introducing myself and just building familiarity and helping them out. But truthfully, the 7-day action plan is to complete your lead magnet or module 1. Does that make sense? Yeah. Right? So I say like, hey guys, thanks for entering to the group. What you'll notice here first, and to get the maximum benefit out of this group is, here are your first steps, right? You're gonna go to Classroom and hit start here. And this group is very much, you get what you give, and we want people to engage. So your first step is to go to the welcome post and just, introduce who you are and where you're at. Here's the benefit to you, right? Most people don't say the benefits, but here's the benefit to you. For me to, come up with a custom plan for you, I need to find out where you are so I have a foundation to stand on. So if you were just to introduce yourself, right, it also unlocks a bonus material on how to, get an ROI in 7 days or whatever bonus that you choose, right, is the first step. And the reason why I like this too is it also is like a wow factor. So as of right now, there's like 125 comments on this thing. So it just tells people like, oh, what's going on here? Like, this guy means business. You know what I mean? So it's like that. It's almost a testimonial in that, right? Step 2, to get your authority funnel action plan. So this is how we start to build familiarity and community, is for me to like get on these calls with these individuals, right? So how to book your 7-day action plan sounds harsh, because if you don't do it, you'll be removed, right? But it sounds harsh. But again, in order for me to best serve you and create a custom plan to reclaim your time, I just need to find out where you're at, right? So book a call right here. And this is where you can see the virtual consult, right? This is the other added wow factor of, hey, I'm skipping all the discovery call stuff. So when I get on the call, I can reference where you're at. And now I'm not trying to sell anything at this point, right? Because I'm going to low ticket paid group to high ticket consulting, and only people that are in the low ticket paid group can ascend up to high ticket consulting. That's just the way that I'm choosing to do it now these days to get back my time. But again, you can see the authority funnel elements are still in place here to always have that authority funnel play. And that's also part of the lead magnet, is not only module 1, but then also kind of the steps that we take to develop either an action plan or a custom strategy session or what have you, if you did it this way. Notice I didn't do that for aesthetic bosses, right? In terms of like, it's very much like setting appointments off the bat. I just chose to do a community funnel here just because people who typically enter Skool this way want a community. Make sense? Good timing, because I'm losing my voice. Any questions on anything that we went through in the last like 3 minutes of this call?
I have a question, Jordan.
Yeah.
So basically the funnel is through the content, you move them to a free group and then a paid group and then ascension to the high ticket?
If you choose that model, yes. If you choose that model.
Okay. And what is the other option with schools? Can you also do a free group to an application call or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So to reiterate, the reason why I gave both is because I wanted to test both based on your specific use case. So with aesthetic bosses, this was not community driven at all. There's no engagement, right? It was merely get this lead magnet that's housed here, and then I appointment set via the DMs. That was it.
And what do you find that's working better?
So for me, I personally choose the virtual consult funnel. So the thing that we talked about in the beginning is my chosen funnel. But again, I wanted to prove the concept for everything because everyone's use case is different. Right?
Okay, thank you.
Of course. Any last questions?
Is there a teleprompter in Video Ask?
Is there what?
A teleprompter.
There is not, to my knowledge, but I don't memorize my stuff. I just record like one thing, and then I cut up the filler stuff in Final Cut Pro. But I do believe that you can either outsource that to Fiverr, or I even think Loom does that too. I think someone in the group mentioned that Loom does that as well. So you can do it that way, but I I don't have a teleprompter. I just like have the script in front of me. I look and I'm like, hey guys, Jordan here, blah, blah, blah. And then I look and then I go again. So if it is perceived as I memorize my stuff, awesome, but I don't.
That's good. That's good, man.
Cool. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you for finishing out day 2. I will see you here tomorrow on day 3, which we'll be talking about scaling content. So excited and to see you there. And one small ask, if you found this beneficial, please leave me some feedback in the group. That way I can get better at just teaching. Right. So thank you guys, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.